Not sure where you are, but hi everyone. It's nice having every one of you around today. This is our second AMA session. Last one was very wonderful, insightful. I'm sure a lot of us learned a lot, and already I know some persons are already building their portfolios. Today we're taking it further, and we'll be having another wonderful person with us, a guest. And I think when we spoke before everyone came in, I was happy that the only time myself and him had a conversation, I was well behaved. Otherwise, I would have really been sweating this today. But I'm happy to realize that I was in my best behavior when he reached out. So thanks everyone. So welcome once again. It's time to supercharge your data science skill. Let me just quickly confirm, can everyone see my screen? Oh, thanks, Freddie. So let's start with Data Jedi. I'm sure a lot of us have been seeing Data Jedi. What are we up to? What are we trying to do? You probably got this invitation to several outreaches, maybe LinkedIn, maybe our meetup pages and the likes of it. So let's tell you about Data Jedi. We have two dual missions. We are on a mission. The first one is we are bridging the gap in the African data science ecosystem by training industry-ready data scientists and connecting them to high-demand data science opportunities. So one goal for us is to serve as a bridge. A lot of persons are doing MOOCs, but you and I know from experience that even after doing the MOOCs, people are still asking, okay, so how do I solve the problem? How do I add value? How do I take on projects? Secondly, we are helping organizations to unlock the power of their data using machine learning and artificial intelligence. So on one side, we're reaching out to the community, everyone in this space wanting to learn, and giving them an opportunity to learn by doing projects, learn by taking on real world challenges. And on the other side, we're also helping organizations to unlock this value. The way organizations think, their perspective and that of the individual, usually they're different. And what we try to do is try to marry those two perspectives together. So we are a team who strongly believe in the mantra of learning by doing, which is why we are advocating for this real-world project building approach to learning data science. It's hands-on. Those that have been in any of our programs know it's drinking from a fire hose. But when you're done, you will be on fire yourself. So once again, thank you for joining us. Today, we'll be introducing our guests. Like I said, I'm happy to introduce him. His name is Mojeed Abisiga. I like his, what would I call it now? The few words to describe him on LinkedIn. So he's a data scientist, he's a machine learning engineer, an RPA specialist, he's a data leader, and he has a followership of over 10,000 persons in this space in data science. So you want to listen to him. So Mojeed Abisiga is a master's degree student in informatics and analytics at University of North Carolina in the US. He's an innovative data scientist, machine learning engineer, and robotics process automation specialist with vast experience in delivering scalable data-driven solutions, which in turn helps companies become digital businesses faster and gain a valuable advantage in their journey to artificial intelligence and digital transformation. If you're in the corporate world, you know today that word digital transformation is front burner. Even CEOs that have never taken any course in technology will tell you that is digital transformation. Is highly adept at successfully researching, applying machine learning-based solutions to real-world problems, and proficient in tools and techniques for finding patterns and digging out insights from large volume of data. Proud to his present role as a student, Mojeed worked as an analytics consultant in the cognitive and analytics unit at Deloitte. He also had a stint at KPMG, where he worked as a data scientist in the data and analytics unit of KPMG. So Mojeed is not just the regular student that just moves from undergrad and to master's program. No, he understands the field. He knows what it means to support the business. So as we hear his story today, we also share that with us. So that is who we have in the house today. And just before I hand over the floor to Mojeed, I would like to make a special request to everyone on the call right now. First, it's an AMA. It's ask me any question, but please don't ask me about my children and my wife. I won't answer, don't mind me. So it's ask me any question. So no married proposals here. What we want is data science and artificial intelligence. So you see the link on the screen. Please, Freddie has also put it in the chat. Please do me a favor, go click on it, put in your questions, and you can also vote questions that you want to be prioritized. So please go in and do that. And then secondly, while this is going on, well, request of you to please share this on your LinkedIn, on your Twitter. For those of us that still can speak on Twitter, some of us are still faithful Nigerians, but please share it everywhere, get everyone involved. Now, Freddie is drinking water. He still seems to have a Twitter account, but please go ahead and do that. I've seen people reach out to me from all over the world on this particular session, so please go ahead and do that. On that note, I'm excited, happy, and I would keep saying happy to introduce to us Mojeed today. So Mojeed, the floor is yours. Please welcome on board. Please let's give him a digital round of applause. Let's clap for him. Let the hands start rolling, please, for Mojeed, please. Everyone, please. Thank you, Daniel. Seeing your clap. Thank you, Smile. So Mojeed, the floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you very much, Adebayo, and thanks, everyone. Thanks for having me here. I'm delighted. Yeah, so so I'll basically start with how to like get into like maybe postgraduate school in like not necessarily in the US, like in any country. So the first thing I will first talk about is like you need to be very sure that you really need like a postgraduate study in data science and analytics. You know, people go for like postgraduate studies in data science for various reasons. Things around, you know, career change, like maybe some people are just new to the field and, you know, like maybe they're coming from a different background, or maybe, you know, they learned those aspects of data science in a very rough way and they just want to like, you know, connect the dots. Then, you know, some people also want to do postgraduate study simply because they need to take up senior level roles or, you know, managerial position. You know, some people do it for like, some people go for these studies simply because they want to meet people, they want to network with, you know, co-founders and like investors, like they can work with, you know, based on their ideas in this field or something like that. So, you know, the value that people derive from this degree actually varies, but you have to be very sure that you are like going for this degree for maybe to meet some set of objective, and don't just go because you see everyone going for it or something like that. So, and you know, while planning to go for your postgraduate degree, you have to think about, you know, two things, two costs for the program, or things that it will like cost you to go for this program. So the first one, I'll call it like the upfront cost, which are things around like the tuition fee and like the living expense for the program that you're going for, like in data science and analytics. And the second one is opportunity cost. You know, you have to forego so many things for your postgraduate studies. You know, like currently you might be working, you have to forego your income, and you also have to forego like your work experience. You know, maybe if the program you're going for is for about 1 to 2 years, you have to forego it for the master's. And if you're going for PhD, you might have to forfeit like about 4 to 6 years of your experience for the PhD program. So you need to think about it very well. You need to consider things like how much you will start like earning once you are done with the program. Is it actually a positive return on investment? You need to do your research very well, you know, check the career progression of people who have like made this move in the past, who have gone for masters and PhD, like where did they find themselves after these programs. Then another thing I'll talk about is, like is yeah, you might have.
It doesn't have space.
Sorry, I think, yeah. So you need to consider things like, oh, is it the right time for me to go for this degree? Once you are sure that, like, yes, I really want to go for like this postgraduate degree in data science, like you need to be sure that, oh, like, am I actually ready for this program? So you need to like consider things around, work experience. Like, for example, schools mostly always want to have a mixture of people from various backgrounds, experience in the field, so you can add value to each other. Maybe when working on projects, like you also be able to resonate well with the concepts being taught and be able to ask meaningful questions in class. Because currently, like as a student, the kind of questions I ask from my lecturers, when they are teaching, is quite different. Like, it's more engaging. I don't ask because I've worked in the field for some time, and I don't know, the experience is always like very different. Then for PhD students, you may also want to like consider like having research experience. Like it will give you edge in getting a professor that is ready to sacrifice part of his grants for you to be a student, because as you are going for a PhD program, you need to like work with a prof on a research and stuff like that. And many of these schools, they accept candidates without work experience too. But you you would have to demonstrate like strengths in other parts of your application, things like exceptional leadership, track record of excellence, or extracurricular activities. There are many other things you need to show, like beyond, like apart from work experience or research experience. Then like for funding, like you also, like another thing you need to consider when you're actually checking if you are ready for this program is funding. You need to save up a lot of money. If you are not really bothered about getting full funding, like you need to save up money for tuition and living expense. You might even get partial scholarship and maybe need to pay for the rest. But you need to aside money for tuition and living expense, you also need to save up for things like application fee to the schools, sending test calls, transcripts to your school, visa processing. I'll come back to like the funding aspect later, but these are things that really drive you to think of the right time to apply to know if you're actually ready for this postgraduate degree in data science and analytics. And the next thing I would like to move into is which schools to apply to. So there are various things that you should actually consider when applying to schools. So number one is the curriculum. Are there certain courses that you really want to take or something like that? You need to go through the program websites for each of the schools that you're considering. Check like the syllabus and see, are there things that I really want to learn from this, or are there specific courses that like intrigue you or like fascinates you in the program? Then also another thing you need to consider is like the length of the program. Is it a 1-year program, or is it a 2-year program, or is it PhD? Like you need to, how much time do I really want to like spare like for my school or for my postgraduate study? If you are working currently and like you're a professional kind of person, maybe you don't want to move into research, or you don't want to go back to the school to become a lecturer, you need to is it worth forfeiting about 4 or 5 years, or maybe 2 years? Like, so those are the things that you have to look at when applying to school, because each of the schools, like they have different like programs, like they have the programs for data science. So, but what differentiates them, and a thing that can differentiate them, is the length like of that program in data science and analytics. Then also another thing you need to consider is like the internship opportunities. Like currently the school I'm in, we're allowed to as part of the criteria for graduating, we're allowed to like take an internship at the end of the semester, which is like a capstone project. like you have to work with a company or like a professor on a project which will actually add towards your credits, like your credit unit. So you need to be sure that the program will allow you to go for an internship program or something, or for internships. Then also you need to also consider about the career services. So like how much support do like the school that you're applying to provide to their students? Do they organize career fairs? Do they like do they help people to vet their resumes, like, or prepare them for like life after school and stuff like that? Then another thing to consider is funding. Like, what are the funding options available for the various schools? For some schools, like there are a lot of fundings, like they give a lot of funding. In fact, they keep getting funding to the extent that they don't know how to disburse the funding themselves. So like, and while there are some schools that you really don't need to get funding before you get into the school, once you get to the school, you always like, you can see opportunities to later get funding, like even before your second semester and stuff like that. Then also you need to consider the alumni network, like which schools can give you like access to a diverse and like, influential alumni network. Like maybe you can just check on LinkedIn or check past students, their profile, and see how well they are like giving back to their school and stuff like that, and how well they bond with the school. Also, like another important factor is location. Like, are you considering some locations like compared to others? Maybe because of the weather condition, or maybe the expense of living in that city, or yeah, or maybe you have a family member in that city that you want to school in and stuff like that. Then you have to like, before you can actually decide on like schools that you should apply to, you have to digest all this like information from websites, from from the school website, from other websites that speak about the schools, from reviews. You need to attend information session. You also need to like leverage social media platforms, talk with people, reach out to people on LinkedIn. I think when immediately I finished school, that was the first time I had conversation with Mr. Aderigbe. So like Mr. Adebayo. So I think I saw like that he had gone to like he was currently, or maybe he just finished his program, a program in data science from Northwestern University of like professional studies or something like that. So I asked him like about like how to get into the program and stuff like that. He responded well also, but I asked so many people. I reached out to people that I see that like are current students or are previous students from the schools I'm interested, or the program I'm interested. Yeah, so like even the school I'm in currently, I was opportune to know someone that is in my program, and I asked him a lot of questions. He guided me. Like, you get like the right information from people like that, because for example, when it comes to funding opportunity, they will tell you that, oh, this is my department, we don't have funding, or we have like enough funding this semester, or maybe there's this professor that's like he wants to work with the students, and like he currently got maybe a grant worth so amounts that he doesn't even have enough students. You will know that, oh, I'm supposed to mail this professor to tell him about my research interest in like about me being interested in his lab or something, or working with him as a graduate student. Then also, like, there are some steps you need to take, like when preparing to apply for school. So like you're supposed to like keep track of your school list and application details and information. So basically, the way I did mine, I created like 2 Excel sheets. One was containing things like name of school, the rank of the school, like if GRE is required, the cutoff of the GRE, like, I mean, yeah, if TOEFL or ITS is required, the cutoff, like, also, like, I also follow up with mails to maybe the graduate coordinator or like lecturers in the department to confirm if like these tests like are actually criteria for giving funding, because those tests might not be a criteria for getting admission, but they might be they might be very critical to getting assistantship or like full funding, because they might want, most of them, they give funding based on you assuming a role for them, maybe as a teaching assistant, Like, and for you to be able to like be a teaching assistant, they must be sure that yes, this person can speak English very well. So they want to see your TOEFL or IELTS score. So, and also things that I like put on the Excel sheets are things like acceptance rates, if funding is available, and the value of the funding. Yes, I really want, I might want to get, I might want to, like, it's not a crucial criteria, but I'm, me selecting between two schools like that, like almost the same, like they have almost the same attributes or the same criteria, the same things, except like maybe the amount of the funding that they pay. That could be like a tiebreaker or something like that. So also the location matters, the deadline. I'll put it on the Excel sheet, the deadline of the school. If there's application fee waivers, application fee waiver is another aspect like you need to like take serious. So because I think people tend to apply to, like, you tend to get admission into more schools, like based on like how many schools that you apply to. Like if you apply to plenty school, you tend to get like more chance of getting a fully funded program, like, or getting more admission. So I know someone that applied to about 72 schools. I know someone that applied to about 65. So, and people apply to this amount of schools, not because they have the money alone. They get application fee waivers, maybe from the department. Yeah, so some of those schools is based on like, asking them that, oh, XYZ, so I'm looking to like get an application. If you don't ask them, you might not know that there's an application fee waiver. Apart from that, many of them hold programs or like webinars, whereby once you just join the event, they send you a code for application fee waiver. You can always check Google, school webinar that gives application fee waiver or something like that. There are also so many organizations or communities that you join that they give application fee waivers for different schools and stuff like that. Things around, for example, for data science now, although I didn't get to know about this early, you could like join Black in Tech. Sorry, not Black in Tech, Blacks in AI. Yes, so they give application fee waivers for like, I think I know someone that goes close to maybe 12 application fee waivers, like for programs in data science and analytics. Yeah, so like you can apply for stuff like that. Then some programs will even tell you that like, oh, if you apply between this period and this period, you get an application fee waiver. So applying early too also determines if you get benefits like that. Then you also on that Excel sheet, you also want to have how many recommenders you need to get for those schools, like maybe the contacts to reach out to on LinkedIn or mail. Maybe you want to follow up with the professor, like to tell him like about your interest. Mailing professor is another topic, like, yes, mailing professor, like, and I think that one is very important for people that want to go for PhD programs. And I must tell you that like to get a fully funded program in analytics or data science, especially analytics, is not really that easy. So like I think most people go the route of PhD. So yeah, so people apply for PhD because you get to work with pros that have grants and stuff like that. Most of these schools, they consider analytics and data science as professional like program where you've worked some years in the industry and like you're bringing in your money to like get a better profile or like advance your career and go back to the industry and make more money. So like they really don't give full funding or stuff like that. So people devise other means to get funding, like maybe through PhD, or you don't necessarily have to apply for masters in data science, PhD in data science. There are other ways you can apply for masters in or PhD in statistics with a concentration in analytics or with a concentration in data science, PhD in mathematics with a concentration in data science, PhD in computer science with a concentration in data science or in machine learning or in analytics. So those are other ways that you can like get like fully funded for programs like that. Then also things you should include in the in that same Excel sheet, maybe documents that you require to submit. There are a lot of things that are included on my Excel sheet then. Then the second Excel sheet is like for if you started application, for you to like have an idea of how far you have gone with your application. So it should contain things like maybe each recommender, like each of the recommenders that you plan to use, and like whether like you have the name of the school, the name of the recommender, each of the recommender, let's say 3 recommender, you indicate whether the recommender has submitted the recommendation or not. You're just basically tracking, oh, I need to follow up with this recommender, he has not sent the recommendation. Then a colon for if the application fee has been sent, if you have actually paid for the application fee. Also, if your GRE score has been sent, if your TOEFL score has been sent, if your transcript has been sent, and also, yes, because transcript normally take time sometimes, like especially for schools that require you to send it directly for from your maybe undergraduate school or something like that. You need to like initiate the process on time. Then also, you need to like create a tab for maybe if you've submitted the application or not, or if you've applied for funding, because for some programs, you apply for admission separately, like you apply for funding separately from like the admission. Yes, you need to apply for funding like on your differently. That's why you need to like check very well. You need to go to the website and be sure. Some people just apply for the admission and thinking that they will just be considered for funding, and they will not end up getting funding, not knowing that they have to apply separately. And the funding consideration, like they have deadline for application for that too, So like once you've considered all these things, you can just like initiate your online application, for each school and start getting your materials ready. So things that you should prepare, so things like you should prepare your academic or professional CV. I think you need to know the difference between academic and professional CV. So depending on the program you're applying for, if you are going for like maybe a PhD, or a PhD or research something, or maybe master's with thesis like in data science or stuff, you should consider maybe an academic CV. But if like if it is a professional kind of program for analytics or something, you could like prepare your professional CV. Like also you need to prepare your LinkedIn. They do check LinkedIn profile. Like I remember when I sent in my applications, then like I was seeing like some profile views from so university. Then also you should try to request for your transcript early, like I said. Yeah, so I think, many of the schools, they require like unofficial transcripts at first, then later maybe the official one, but you should at least have the unofficial one ready. Then you also need to take your tests, like when I mean tests, things like GRE, GMAT, and TOEFL. And it depends on the schools that you plan to like get into, the requirements. You need to know what they want. So some of them want GRE or GMAT, or maybe with TOEFL. So you need to like actually, like I said, you need to send out, you need to be very sure what your program wants from you. And I'm still going to come back to like, you need to know about I'll still come back to like the tests, like the test scores, and knowing which ones to write and stuff like. So then also you need to decide on your recommender and make them very aware. You need to make them aware very early. Again. So you also need to start writing your statement of purpose and essays. Like some schools require to write both essays and statement of purpose. Like you can, you're applying to a lot of programs. You can just have like a template for your SOP, statement of purpose. So which like that's basically what you'll be tweaking for each school based on what the contents they want in your statement of purpose. Then I think many schools, but not many, few schools, but I think for PhD program, yes, like they normally interview or chat with you. Like maybe either you get an interview from maybe either the admission committee or like a professor which you want to work with on your research. So you need to start like preparing for that, like as soon as you like send in your application, and take note of the deadlines. Like you need to apply like super early, like for you to get, you need to be sure of the deadline, because there are different deadlines. So you have some schools have like close to 5 deadlines. So you need to be sure of the deadlines for funding considerations. Yes, so I think many of them, like maybe the deadline for most schools for funding contribution falls around maybe December 5 or maybe December 15th or so. Then for your recommendation, so like your recommendations should actually complement everything you have done, like everything you've written in other parts of your application, because this, I think recommendation is one of the most important item in your application package. So like, because this actually gives the admission committee a relatively unbiased view about like how well you like do in the program, and like how good a candidate you are. So like a few things to actually note about recommendation or recommendations is that you need to pick your recommenders early. You have a lot of people who can like recommend you, but yes, you need to like pick the ones you want to like use early and give them enough time to write like a very standard recommendation for you. Yeah, I would suggest like letting them know maybe. I think the typical thing people do is they let them know about 1 to 2 months before they want to apply for the program. For me, like personally, I think I already made my recommenders know, like right from when I was done with my school, like, or even during my school, like I made some of, because I chose the recommenders that I had, like, I know they can, like, they know a lot about me, and they could write nice stuff about me. Like I've worked with them on different things. So, because another reason why you need to let them know early is because you are not the only one they are writing recommendation for. Probably a lot of students, both your set, some people have graduated a long time ago, like both your set, the set before you, like even new students, like they want to use them as recommender. And you might almost likely not apply to one school. You want to apply to many schools to be able to have like chances of like getting full funding and getting a lot of offers to select from. Then also let them know the schools you're applying to and their application deadlines, follow up. And I think, yeah, I think you should always, regardless of even if you want to apply to graduate school or not, you should at least keep in touch with um, many of the people you've worked with in like one time in your life or something like that, you've really engaged with or worked with on projects and stuff like that. Because for example, in school now, if you like maybe you're done with your school and you didn't, keep in touch with your lecturers, and you just come after 10 years or after 3 years and start asking for recommendation, it doesn't really sound well. So probably like me personally, I've been like reaching out to some of my lecturers every year and then, like I check up on them even like before I started applying to schools. So because they are always very busy, and for them to like volunteer to do that kind of thing, like yes, it's really a big deal. So also, like unless it is specifically indicated like in your school, do not worry too much about maybe the status or how big your recommender is. The title, like I think, is more about what the graduate school value more is like the quality of recommendation they're able to like provide for you. Like, are they able to write that, oh, like I've worked with Mojeed on so projects. In fact, we encounter so much challenge. These are the skill sets that like he brought to the table. In fact, this is my course that it took so time. Like it was very difficult. So it got 100, or like, in fact, all those kind of things. Not just Mojeed is a good boy. No, that's not a recommendation. Like, that's not a recommendation. Then also make sure that they understand your motivation for postgraduate study and allied qualities that show that you're a great candidate, like in their recommendation letter. So I think right from when I was in school, like the recommenders I used, like I've always been using them for recommendations, probably for scholarships that I applied for during my undergraduate like degree. Yeah, so I've been using some of them for my I've been using them as my recommenders. So, and they also, like, I speak with them once in a while to let them about know where I am currently. Like, oh, this is my status currently. Like, I'm working at so that this is what I'm doing. Like, sometimes they even like send people to me to like motivate them and see how like I can like impact in their lives too. So they are aware from time to time, like they're always aware about where I am, what I'm doing currently, my career interest and stuff like that. So they don't need to start scratching their head and start like trying to do research about what I really want and stuff like that. Then you also need to let them know about what those schools you're applying to is looking for in a candidate. All these things boils down to like your relationship with your recommenders. You might be so close with your recommenders that they will just like tell you that, oh, Mojeed, write the recommendation. I'll just sign it. Write everything you want there. I'll send it to me. I'll just vet it out, or maybe I'll just sign it and stuff like that. Like if they are not asking you to do that, so like give them examples of like qualities that because it's not everything. They might only know the academic aspect of you. Like they might not know the other attributes, maybe like your soft skills and stuff like that. You need to let them know, point out those qualities and like those qualities that they emphasize in your application. Also, like it makes it easy for them to write the recommendation that complement the rest of your application. Then also, if you have like maybe your statement of purpose ready or your resume or the essay, you can also send it to your recommenders, like just for them to have like an overview of what you really want, like what you really want, your career aspiration, like the qualities that you really want to portray to the graduate school. Yeah. So then I think one good thing that you should do is that you should like learn to appreciate your recommenders, like, thank them and let them know about the result, the outcome of your applications. Because you may not know, let's say you apply to school this year and you're not able to get funding and stuff like that, and you have to apply next year. If you've been a bad person, you didn't let them know about your the outcome, or you just left, look as if you used them, they won't want to provide any recommendation for you. And like recommendation is really a big deal. Like you cannot write recommendation for yourself. So then also like regarding getting funding, so I think there are different ways to getting funding. So number one is maybe you getting funding by getting funding from the department, the school, like you're applying to the departments, or from the graduate school, maybe in form of a graduate assistantship or graduate teaching assistant or research assistantship. So, and all these things, like, you can get to know about how to get them from past students, right? Like, yeah, you can ask past students about the fund. You can even check some of all these websites. How is it to get funding in particular school, or just check reviews. A lot of people are applying to schools. They give like reviews online that, oh, this school give a lot of admission without funding. Then ask people questions like, let's say if I'm applying to, let's say, University of Washington, like once I have it in mind, I just pump in a lot of connection requests to people in that program, like in the school. Like I just send a lot of connection requests and stuff like that. Once they accept, I start engaging them, letting them know about. I ask questions like my chances of getting. Sometimes I tell them about my profile, like for them to assess me and see if I'm really going to get funding from that school. And some of them will even some of them will even go as far as like recommending you to the professor they are working with or something like that, depending on how well you you speak with them and maybe the people that you target. So I think as a Nigerian, you should target more of Nigerians over there. Like Nigerians over there are always willing to help as like fellow Nigerians. So you ask them about funding, they will most likely tell you, oh, these are the lecturers that have, they post it on, these are the lecturers that have funding that I'm working with social lecturers. She even told me that she need a student, that if I know anybody, person will just recommend you straight away. The person doesn't have to know you. As far as you're able to like sell yourself, like the person is able to see the potential in you, the person will recommend you. And then like also like you check the school websites, to see maybe the news, maybe a particular lecturer and like, or maybe the school announced that, oh, Professor Prashanti Manda recently got a funding for NLP or natural language processing or something like that. You reach out to the prof. There are templates for mails that you can send to profs to like tell them about your research interests and ask for the possibility of you like getting a spot in their lab or like to become their student or something like that.
Wow. Wow, Mojeed.
Yeah.
If we allow you, I guess you're going to create a book for us. Thanks. You said a lot. And like Freddie has put on the chat, the several things Mojeed has said today that apply to life in general. So please, we can scale this and apply them to different other domains. So what we want to do quickly is move to the questions, because there are several questions and we'll never have enough time, no matter how much you try. So we'll go through the questions, but thank you very much, Mojeed. I've learned a lot myself. I've actually had to take like 1 or 2 notes down for things I would go and correct when I. So let's start with the first question. So the first one says, is a master's in data science really worth it? Or should one just focus on getting a job? Remember, there was this talk around, you need to know your reason for your graduate studies. So is it worth it? Or should I just go and get a job? What's your take?
Yeah, so like, it boils down to you. So you need to be very sure that it is worth it for you. Like, so things like you consider when like actually pushing for like postgraduate study in data science and things like maybe career change. Maybe you recently moved into data science and analytics, and you're not just, you just feel that there's this knowledge gap or things you need to really like, maybe you don't have any background in STEM. So probably maybe you're having issues with statistics or computer science. You just want to, like you want to connect the dots very well. Like you might have learned XYZ from so many places, but you don't really have a full understanding, or you don't have a solid foundation in it that can be part of it. Maybe, or maybe you're considering a career change, or you. And another reason why people like want to get a graduate study, maybe they have been in a stagnant position as a data scientist for so many years, and they want to take up like a senior, like maybe a senior data scientist, or like maybe a managerial role. You want to like really like get a master's degree or PhD to be able to get into such positions. Then also maybe you intend to like, you want to start up a company. You want to like maybe make network, like meet people like in the international space, which you can like collaborate together to start up something together, or maybe you're looking for investors. Yeah, so those are some of the reasons. You need to be sure of why it is important for you. Just do some research, why people move into those things. Like, and even if it's not going to put you in a more senior level, is it going to boost your pay, or like, are you going to like get more pay when you move into that field? Or do you want to get job? And is there a company that you target, like you're targeting, that maybe the company is not located in Nigeria? Maybe, for example, Twitter. You intend working for Twitter, or you intend working for Apple, and you know that it's in the US or is in like the country that you want to. Like, I think it's much easier as a postgraduate student to get into those companies than getting in from undergraduates from Nigeria. So those are the things you want to consider.
There's a question here on the call that is probably on the chat that is very personal, but so let's see. Let me say that you. So, why was it worth it for you?
Yeah, so for me, so many reasons. So number one, so like I want to like, yeah, I've been working as a data scientist. Yeah, I studied mathematics, I did some courses in statistics, but I want to connect the dots well. I just feel that there are some aspects that I didn't learn properly. Like I just want to connect it well, like connect the dots. Then another thing I want to consider is, like meeting people in the international space. I want to spread my my presence. Like I want to connect with more people, like from like the international space. Then I also want to, I think I am more of an in-class person. like I've done a lot of courses online, but I also want to like work in person. Like I want to like learn things like in person. Ask, because all the classes I've been doing since I started my program, I've been asking questions. Like I ask questions based on my experience. My lecturers know that I ask questions. So like I want to make sure that I is worth it. Like some of the things that I can't really easily check online and stuff like that, I'm able to ask from people who are experienced in this field and stuff like that. Then also maybe yeah, so maybe I want to, yeah, no, maybe, yeah, I think networking with people too. Yeah, so, so I think those are the major reasons. Like,
Okay.
yeah, those are some of the major reasons. Yeah. Yeah.
And
And I
thanks for
always,
answering. No, go
yeah,
ahead.
and yeah. Yeah, so like I think I reached out to you. I finished my postgraduate study. I finished for Unilag in 2018, I think October. I reached out to you November. So I've always planned to go for my postgraduate study in data science. So like this is just like a dream come true for me. So yes.
Wow. Wow. May all our dreams come true.
Amen.
So the next question is, so someone's asking, so how can I get scholarship for masters in data science? Which scholarship would you recommend? So you said several things. So which scholarship would you recommend?
Yeah, so there are different ways to go about getting scholarship or funding. So I would say I'm privileged to have gotten one. So like there's no one way about it. So I think the way people get funding mostly is maybe through uh, the the department that you're applying for, maybe as a graduate assistant or as a graduate teaching assistant or as a research assistant. You should be sure that maybe the program that you're applying for in like, or maybe the school you're applying to for that program, they give graduate like they have graduate assistants or research assistants. You should ask questions from the graduate coordinator. Oh, like are there GA positions or something like that? And while some people also consider like external scholarships, like maybe, for example, to the UK, maybe Erasmus scholarship or something like that. But me, I didn't really consider all those things simply because maybe one of the reasons why I didn't consider, I think they always put some criteria like to restrict. I'm not sure, but I just feel they always restrict some things like that. Oh, you have to do this, you have to do that. Like maybe you cannot work in that country, like you have to come back immediately or something like that. And you know, some people they really want to go for the program, and you know, immediately after the program, they want to get some international exposure. Like they want to see how like data science work globally before coming back to like replicate some of the things they've learned into the country. So yeah.
So I'm going to push that question further and would say, what do you think stood you out in applying for this scholarship that you got? What stood you out to the department?
Honestly, I would say firstly, yeah, I would say firstly, like I'm more of a believer of grace. So I'll first say grace. That's number one. Then number two, I would say like you know, I think I have a track record of like excellence over time, right from childhood. I have like a very sweet story to tell about, you know, how well I've been pushing, you know, right from childhood. And also like I think my experience also speaks. Like I didn't just finish school and you know say I want to go into data science. I've worked like as a data scientist. I've worked on projects. I've like achieved some milestones in this field. Then also I think my recommendations, like yeah, I think my recommendations, I think my recommenders did a great job because I have so many people that could recommend me, but I used the people that I know that we've shared a lot of things together. I've like, you know, I've showed them like that aspect that they really want to see in like a graduate student, like applying to schools or something like that. Yeah.
So I'll take it further again, and that's because you called grace. And usually someone once said grace, and I said, is grace a lady or a guy? But not for this conversation. So I know you mentioned grace. and you also have 10,000 followers. Obviously, Grace didn't do that overnight for you, and you have 10,000 people following you on LinkedIn. So you must have done some specific things. So pardon me to ask Grace to stand by the side while I call out what specific things. So did you do like projects that in the public? Did you like, and now this is before your master's. Now you're in. So did you do you have like portfolios you had pushed out? Were you attending conferences? Were you networking? Were you writing papers and putting things out in LinkedIn? So what?
Yeah, so I'll say yes, I did most of the things. I've done most of the things you're talking about, not because I intend to not because I'm intentional about them. There are things I just like doing. So for example, on LinkedIn, I use LinkedIn very well. I like writing. I like writing more than the way I always write. Maybe there's no really time to like churn out a lot. So I love writing about, things that I've learned in data science, and I read a lot. I read a lot of people's articles. I learn a lot. Then also, I think like one important thing that helped me is reaching out to people from the school, like that I intend applying to, to know about the possibility of getting funding in a particular program. Then sending mails to maybe the people that maybe to a professor or lecturer or something like that in the school also helped me. Like I reached out to some prof about my interest in getting funding. I basically sold myself like, oh, this is why I'm eligible. Like this is why I should get the funding and stuff like that. Then I think I have one research paper. Yeah, I think yes. That's also I think that's also very key to people do write a lot of research paper and it helps them get those funding too. Then also my background, I studied mathematics and I did a lot of courses in statistics, and those are the foundation of data science. Yeah, and I did I think I did pretty well in school when I studied mathematics. But I think those things too also made me stand out.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So let me go to the next question. So this question says, how do you keep motivation up regarding getting data science jobs after numerous rejections? So how many applications, let's even apply to life generally. So how many applications did you submit before you got scholarship? Was this your first application and then, wow, Grace came in and just dropped the scholarship on your table the next day? So maybe speak to that.
Yeah, so basically I applied during 2 application windows. So I was supposed to have traveled last year, but because of COVID lockdown, I couldn't leave last year. So I had to defer my admission. So for the first application, I didn't apply to as much schools as people. I think one should apply to at least 10 schools. Yes, so I think I applied to 5 schools. I got admission from all. I got some sort of funding from all too, but not full funding from everything. So yes, then I deferred my admission. So because I deferred my admission, I was not too sure of me getting it again. So I had to apply for another set of programs. So but this time around, the first time I applied for analytics program, data science. So I got to know that I applied for masters because I really don't want to spend 5 years in school. I really want to go back to the industry to, continue working. So I applied for master, but I noticed that funding for analytics program, they don't give full funding like that. So I decided to apply for PhD programs the second time. And like I said earlier on, you don't have to apply for master, you don't have to apply for PhD in data science or masters in data science. You can apply for PhD in statistics and with a concentration in data science or with a concentration in data. So I applied for only statistics program towards December last year. So I got funding from some of them. I got full funding from some of them, but I have decided to still go for the program I got in for before, which is analytics, masters in analytics, because of several reasons. So maybe things around the fact that number one, I applied for like the funding I got towards like last year were PhD. I really don't want to go back to school to do 5 years. That's one. Number two, I know quite a lot of people. I know some people in that school who have done that same program and who are doing well currently. So I think that's an important thing, like, checking like how well, like people that have like finished from that program, how well they are doing and stuff like that. Then also the city that like the school is located is not really expensive to live. It's a good place to live. The weather condition, those are things I considered. Then the curriculum, yes, the curriculum. I really love the curriculum. Like, and also because I have a capstone project, like an internship that is like part of the coursework. So that was the reason why I chose this school over even some like better schools that I got. Yes. Sorry, I can't hear you, Adibai.
Thank you very, very much. I know if we keep going, there will be no end to this conversation. There's a lot to learn. But what I can assure everyone is, I'm sure if you send a LinkedIn invite to Mojeed, he will certainly accept, and the conversation can go on from there. So I'll leave you with just one last question. Knowing all you know today, how would you have lived if you had the point to do all of this, your career, maybe now that you're in school, you might not be considered in a PhD, as in, what would you do differently? How will you navigate all of this all over again, knowing all you know today?
That's a deep question. So if I'm to, I think currently I might not be at the best place I want to be, but I'm always like grateful no matter where I am. Like, I'm always like grateful at my current state and everything. But if I'm to do something differently, so one of the things I could have, so for example, like for application to my school stuff, I think initially I considered maybe applying to German schools. Yeah, there was a time I went to a German, I started learning German because I wanted to apply to schools in Germany. So probably that was a waste of time for me. I shouldn't have followed that route. I should have just gone straight for GRE, to write GRE. And I think I would have really like gotten, like I would have really had enough time to prepare for my GRE if I had written it immediately after school. Immediately I finished from school, I was really hungry to like learn, like to get into data science. So I focused on my like data science skills and everything. So like it was after I started working, like I started getting more clarity regarding how to go into postgraduate school and stuff like that. So probably I would have done things differently. Then for my data science experience, I think I should have started a long time ago in school. Like I should have sacrificed some of the time I spent on learning my mathematics to learning data science since maybe SS2, because I started like coding since SS2 since year 2. So probably I should have started because it's something I really love. Like immediately someone got to tell me about data science, I just knew that that's what I really wanted. Like that was my year 4 first semester, and instantly I started like throughout my year 4, 90% of the courses I did were statistics. Even if I was a pure maths student, my project supervisor, I changed it from a pure maths lecturer to like a statistics lecturer. I did my project in statistics, something related to data science. So like, I don't know, probably I would have started a long time ago. Like I would have started data science a long time ago. And yeah, I think those are the things I would have like done differently. I think I'm still learning. Probably I will still consider other things later. I'm still learning. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Mojeed. Thanks a lot. So I'll hand over to Freddie. And please, yes, everyone, please round of applause. As in, you've done so well. I think I would have to pull up with my connection that I already have on LinkedIn with you.
Thank you very much.
I'll send, before everyone goes ahead and starts sending their invites, I'll probably send my own question. So,
no problem. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Mojeed. So Freddie, you can take it from there.
Yeah, so again, thank you. We really want to thank you, Mojeed, for taking your time to do this. I know a couple of you, there's some questions that we haven't answered in the Slido. So what I'll do is I'll take those questions, then I'll send them to Mojeed, and if he has time, hopefully he can reply to some of them, and then I'll send it out in an email to everybody later on this weekend. But before we wrap up, I want to share with you guys, someone asked a question about Techniders, and I want to actually, talk about the evolution of Techniders to Data Jedi now. So, as Mojeed said, so part of the important thing about what gave him his advantage is the fact that he was working on projects, right? And for some of you, you're not employed yet, so you're not able to work on projects. So what we do now is Techniders has rebranded to Data Jedi, and now we offer an 8-week academy where the focus is on you building projects, right? So the academy starts on October 15th, and we have 2 programs. We have a data analyst program. In this program, the focus is that you'll be using SQL and Power BI to set up a database, conduct some analysis, deploy your dashboards, and then also present your work afterwards. Because it's very important. One of the things that data scientists don't like to do is talk to people. We just have to sit in front of our computers and not talk to people. So, presenting your work and presenting your analysis is a very important part of it. And then we have the data science track as well, where you use, tech like Python, Plotly Dash, Flask, web scraping, Heroku, to conduct analysis, build your ML machine learning models, deploy your models on a cloud server, and also in a web app, and then present your work. So we really want you to have the end-to-end skill sets. Now, what's actually in the program? So we in the program, we have technical sessions where, very soon we're going to get Mojeed to come and give one of these technical sessions, but he's very busy right now. But, the technical sessions, we are around specific topics where we teach you, take you to a tutorial. So for example, we have how to create dashboards and web apps with Plotly Dash, how to deploy ML models on a server, feature engineering, SQL, and Power BI. And then we also have soft skill sessions. So I know a lot of us want to just focus on technical skills. The soft skills are actually what will make you stand out. So you have obviously a CV review. Then we have a couple of people who, as they say on the streets nowadays, they jackpot to the UK and Canada. So I have a couple of them coming back to talk about how if you want to jackpot to, you can too. I'm not going to encourage that, but I'm in the UK, so I shouldn't be talking. But yeah, and analytical thinking as well. So how can you use analytical thinking to ask better questions, how to present to a non-technical audience, and how to troubleshoot issues. Now, the crux of this is the community and support. You can do all of this on your own, but the reason why is why I think it's advantageous to join us is the community and support. So every Saturday from 10 to 4 p.m., we have working sessions where with the group you've been assigned, you work on a particular project. We have stand-ups and retrospectives, just so we can emulate the agile techniques that data science teams use. You understand what it likes to work in that kind of process. And then you obviously have to present your project, and then you get mentorship and feedback from myself, Bayo, and the rest of the faculty. So, but what's important is that this program, if you're on the data science track, we encourage you to already have some data science skills. So you have some Python skills. So you can't be starting from scratch if you want to join the data science track. If you're starting from scratch, it means that you're going to have to work extra hard, because what's important is that we don't always hold your hand, but we give you a way to think about how you can find the answers you need to. Because the mistake most people make, when they're learning, is that they do tutorials and they think they understand what they're doing, but you're just following steps. If I give you a blank piece of data, tell you to do something, you won't know how to do it without following certain steps. So that's what is important and part of this program. And our students, someone asked about the reviews. So I'll share this link. You can see some of our past students. Some of them are actually on this call. So you can message them directly on LinkedIn if you want to find out about how they found the program. But these are just some of the things they have to say. And then we also have a 30-day money back guarantee. So you do it for 30 days. If you don't like it, you don't think it's valuable, we'll give you your money back, no questions asked whatsoever. And then you have a star-studded cast of facilitators. You have myself, obviously. You have Bio. I think everybody is should know Bio now. Is as we call it, as we call him an influencer. So Bio is one of our influencers. And then we have Toby Kazim and then Abraham. So these are all, experienced, data scientists. And altogether, we have 30 plus years of experience. Some of our guest speakers are also, worked in the UK and in Canada that will be speaking to you. And then we also do have scholarships available in case you can't afford the full tuition fee. We have scholarships available. And one thing I do want to mention is that because in celebration of Independence Day, we're giving everybody who applies and pays their tuition fee by Monday a 10% discount. So if you apply now and you pay your tuition fee before Monday, we'll give you a 10% discount, no questions asked. So that's it for me. Are there any questions around the program? Or can we wrap it up and call it a day? Yes, as Bio said, you can also reach Bio directly or reach out to me if you have more questions. And also, let me share this link. In the link, in the follow-up email, I'll send more details about the program as well. But yeah, so thank you very much.
Hello, hi.
Oh, hi.
Hi, I have a question.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay, so I think I'm really particular about the feedback because I've joined like a data science internship program where the feedback is not really interactive, where you just get the feedback that says, oh, okay, you're done with your project and all. But like I feel I'm really interested in the feedback because it helps you learn and understand more what exactly are you doing wrong, what exactly have you done right. So I think I'm really interested in the feedback. So yeah,
that's a great question.
So can I take that on? So what I would assure you is we do give feedback. This for us is personal. We do have so one of the things we do in our program is our students tend to present their projects, and we ensure that everyone is part of that project. Apart from the fact they are collaborating, they're actually presenting their work, and we give them detailed feedback on the work. And many times we follow up even with telephone conversations. I'm sure if you reach out to any of our students, you will find that we've had scenarios where we had to say, yes, you did well in this, but 2, 3, 4, 5, you didn't do well. And if you can address this, you will do better. And I can tell you, even after our program, I actually had a student reach out to me and said, oh, Mr. Bio, you asked me to do 5 things. I've done them now. Now I'm ready for the next thing. So we actually follow up. We follow you through this journey. For some of us, data science is a calling. Doing this is a calling. Thank you.
Yeah, and I would also encourage you to also, don't just take our word for it. Reach out to our past students. So on our website, you see the names of our past students. And you can also reach out to them on LinkedIn, or if you're in a Slack channel, just reach out to them directly, and they will give you the honest truth. Because obviously we're biased, obviously, because it's our program. But like Bio said, feedback is because that's what helped me a lot in the program I did. So we tried to bake in that personalized feedback to help you improve, your skill sets.
Okay, thank you. And also another question. So how would the program work for someone that say is already working in data science, but just feels like Mojeed said, everything is not really connecting, or the gap has not really been bridged, and you just feel you need to know more?
Okay, by yourself, you want to take that?
Okay, so how would it work? So what I found out from my experience is a lot of us think we do know until we try it out. And then when we work with others, some of the things we do not understand is addressed. So what I'll tell you is that I'm part of it. I'm actually involved in this. We are involved in following up with students and ensuring things are properly done. So we try to also answer the question of the why, and beyond just import pandas as PD and then PD dot describe. And you see people going through the flow, and all of a sudden you take away pandas, and the person is asking, so what do I do? There's no pandas and there's no scikit-learn. So we try to answer the why, give you the thinking behind it. And when you take that to any project, realize that it's easier. So I do this for a living. You could check me up on LinkedIn. I work as a data scientist for a living, and I also serve as a mentor. So I'm very familiar with this space, mentoring people, coaching people, and the likes.
Okay, thank you so much.
Amazing. Thank you for those questions, Rafia. Any other questions, or are we ready to call it a day? Feel free to unmute yourselves and ask the question if you do have a question. Otherwise, we'll just call it a day.
Hi, may I ask a question, please?
Yes, go ahead. Great.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Yes.
All right. Thanks, Jimmy. Thanks, Bio. All right, please, I wanted to find out, for making installment payments, are there fixed amounts one has to make if one is using an installment plan? And then you mentioned a 10% discount if one pays before Monday. Does this also mean one can pay installment early before Monday, or one has to pay the entire sum before Monday? So I don't understand. That's what I want to clear up.
That's a great question. So the answer to that is yes. So with the 10%, because the program cost is 100K. With the 10% discount, it's obviously 90K. And with the installment payment, you just have to make your first installment, which is 30K. And you pay the two subsequent installments, in the following or subsequent months. I hope that answers your question. Yeah, great. Did that answer your question?
Okay, so that means I can spread 30K over 3 months.
No. You
Yeah,
spread 90K over 3 months.
Over 3 months. All right, that's 30K per month. All right, that's fine.
Exactly, yes. Yeah. That's
Thanks
obviously
a lot.
with the 10% discount, yes.
Yes. All right. Thank you.
Amazing. So any other person with questions, or we're ready to call it a day? Feel free to unmute yourself if you do have questions. Or you can just drop by a WhatsApp, or drop me a WhatsApp. I dropped my number there, so feel free to drop me a WhatsApp or drop by a WhatsApp, wherever, and we're always available to answer any questions. So thank you very much, guys, for joining. I appreciate it. It's a Saturday evening, and you once again enjoy the rest of your Saturday. And once again, we're going to thank Mojeed again. Please, everybody, go on LinkedIn and send him a nice thank you message to tell him how much knowledge he's provided to you, and just send him some love. So, because as he pays you forward, hopefully you reach it where he is at, and you can also pay it forward. So thank you very much again, Mojeed, and thank you all for sharing your Saturday with us. Hope you all have a good day. All right.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye, everyone.